gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's August the 25th, 2022. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined as always by our managing editor, Matt Shodell, as we discuss the news of the day, presented as always by LifeWallet, where the time is now to take charge of your personal health. And Matt Shodell, I can't stop beaming here this morning.
No, you can't.
Did it, my man. You did it. We eclipsed 250 likes on yesterday's show.
Well, okay, first of all, I said 3. I changed it to 300.
I know, don't interrupt me. I got to set the stage.
But we eclipsed 300. I changed it to 300. We still went over 300.
Okay,
I got a lot of haters out there.
The point is, they did it. They gave us the number of likes, and that means today is a day of positivity and nothing but positivity. And Matt Shodell is going to be positive this entire show. And I'm going to kick it off by saying the Canes are going to win 11 games this year, Matt. What do you think about that?
No comment.
So, anyway, so yeah, I mean, I thought that was really, really cool. Obviously, that we hit the positivity threshold. And
listen, I mean, I don't understand what positivity means, because does it mean can I just be less negative? Because less negative technically would be more positive. So I have to be more positive, or I have to actually be positive? I'm a little confused on my own rules.
Well, I'm going
to wing it. I will try to be less miserable than normal. I don't think people are going to like it, I got to say. I think the people out there, every one of you haters who hit the like button yesterday, you get what you sow, my friends, and you're going to turn the show off probably by the 10-minute mark, is my guess. It's just going to be too positive almost. It's going to be disgustingly positive. It's like when you go on Facebook and everyone's taking vacations and you're stuck in your crappy job all day. Who wants to see how great everything is? Nobody wants things to be great. Come on, man. I mean, doesn't it make you out there feel better that I'm miserable, and that makes you feel a little better about yourselves, right? So, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make people happy.
Well, I'm impressed by your power over the audience, so I'm going to throw the plugs out at the beginning of the show today. Please hit your subscribe button, hit your like button. It helps us with YouTube and the algorithms and everything, and so we appreciate all the likes and
let's do an experiment, Gary. Let's do an experiment, okay? Because I know now that I have haters who don't like that I'm negative. I want to see now if I have people who enjoy my negativity. So if you enjoy the show, don't hit the like button. If you enjoy my negativity, today only, hit the like button. I want to see how many people enjoy my negativity. So if you enjoy miserable Matt Shodell, hit the like button today. And I'm hoping that we get more than the 300 plus likes that we got yesterday. If not, I'll just know I'm a failure. And Gary, you can find another co-host, and I can move on with my miserable existence.
And whether you like positive Matt or negative Matt, I'll throw in there, please, if you haven't already subscribed to our new website, please do so. It's extremely important to us. We created a $1 introductory special for the entire fan base to come and experience CaneSport.com for the next 12 months. Then, of course, it'll go back to regular price next year. Hopefully, you'll stay with us. But your subscriptions allow us to do everything that we do every single day. And so please, if you haven't yet gone to CaneSport.com and subscribe, please do so. All right.
Hey, first of all, can I kick off the show with my DPR? I've been so wrong over the last 3 years of this show. I don't know who that person was. He was, negative Manny, negative Randy, negative whatever, pick your thing. That person's gone, man. That person's gone. So here's my DPR. And I actually believe this partially. There are a lot of people who don't think this Miami Hurricanes team is going to be good this year. And I found out yesterday talking to somebody that a longtime Miami Hurricane reporter thinks the Mario Cristobal experiment is not going to work. which I think is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I actually believe that's ridiculous. Okay, and
it's totally ridiculous. No matter
why in my DPR. Okay, it's almost a reporter's job, right, to question reality. That's sort of what the reporter does. It's almost you're pushing back because all we're getting is these positive things from the players, positive things from the coaches. Fans, by their nature, are always in the preseason going to be positive, even at Duke and name the worst programs in the country. Because they're 0-0. They haven't lost a game yet. So it's almost in a reporter's nature to be negative. However, given, and again, I do believe this, given this coaching staff, which is stellar, okay, given what they have tried to do already, just coaching up players and all the other things they've done, bringing in transfers to try and win right now, which is fine. I am a little surprised at the amount of negativity I'm hearing, not just actually from reporters, but even from some people who have been watching all these practices on the outside. And I think that there's a major silver lining to that, because it's not necessarily fair for everybody to think Mark Cristobal is going to win 10 or 11 games off the bat. But when he does, Gary, it's going to be amazing. And every recruit's going to want to come here, because you don't want to just have the expectation be 10 wins and then you get 10 wins. Okay, well, you should have. It's great that the media, people I talk to, and these other people are like, oh, if they win 8 or 9 games, that's a success. Because when he wins 10 or 11, oh, hell breaks loose, and the Miami Hurricanes are back, and there won't be a 45-day challenge. There will be a 365-day challenge every single year, and that challenge will be to win 10 games every single year, which if they win 10 games this year, they're going to do that. They will meet Matt Shodell's 365-day challenge, and that ends my my DPR.
Speaking of the 45-day challenge, I'm trying to figure out that. Watch this for a second, and then let's talk about it.
What? You think I was going to come to Hawaii and forget the 45-day challenge? It's called the 45-day challenge, not the 45-day challenge minus the days I'm on vacation. We go every day. We're trying to fill the sleeves. We're trying to get ready for the 2018 campaign. Hashtag no days off. Hashtag fast and loud. Hashtag take the pack.
Now, that's a 4-year-old video. He made that when he was at Oregon. It just got uploaded to Twitter, I believe, yesterday. What? Did Aaron Feld hit the wrong video on his phone or something when he was putting up his daily 45-day challenge video? I don't know, man, but looked like that vacation in Hawaii was pretty cool.
I mean, negative Matt would have said, why does he have a little bit of a tummy? Negative Matt would say, how come he doesn't have a 6-pack or a 12-pack if he's a strength coach? Negative Matt would have a lot to say. Why is he on the beach instead of working with the players? But positive Matt says, oh my gosh, that was an amazing video, inspiring. I mean, I want to go do push-ups right now.
Well, while we got you in such a great mood, let me ask you, what did you think of the debut blog that we introduced today on CaneSport.com from James Williams himself, a guy that will be very responsible if Miami wins 11 games this year, like you are predicting today on your day of positivity. What do you think of James Williams' debut blog?
So James Williams is one of the nicest people, and who's had one of the hardest lives as a young person that you'll ever meet. I mean, he talked about, he opened up, he talked about his father killed his mother. He was raised by his grandmother, and a godmom. I mean, I can't even imagine what that's like. They didn't have much growing up, but his grandma never asked anyone for help. I mean, how do you not root for somebody like that?
It's a great blog. Great.
I mean, everyone's got to read it. I don't want to give it all away. You just got to read it. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-blowing. And even negative Matt would have said, this is a must-read. And this guy, I mean, he's got everything. He's fought for everything, and he's earned every single thing, deservedly so, that he's gotten. And he's got a great future ahead of him.
And he's got so much youthful innocence and just little kid in him, and it just shines through. He's just so happy to be where he is. He's so happy to be out on the field playing football. He has big things in mind for himself this year. He thinks he's going to have a great season, and this is the third of our blogs this week, and every one of them has just been spectacular in their own way. So if you didn't see the Xavier Restrepo blog, if you didn't see the Tyreek Stevenson blog, make sure you look back at those two today as well. But today you got to make time for the James Williams blog. It's really a special piece of work, and we hope you guys enjoy it. All right, so let me talk about some of these other stories on the website today. We talked to Jacob Lickenstein. He's the big defensive tackle who's going to rotate into games for sure. And he says up to 25 players on the defense can be considered starters. They've got a heavy rotation going on in that D line, and nobody seems too concerned with who's on the field first.
Yeah, negative Matt would have said, listen, just play your best players and just use those 4 guys mainly. But positive Matt says, who's to argue with Jacob Lichtenstein and Kevin Steele and Joe Salavea? These guys should know more than negative Matt. I mean, let's face it, right? They're there. They know what they have, and the proof will be in the pudding. To use an expression that negative Matt would have said dated back to your youth in the 1930s, but positive Matt won't say that. Positive Matt will say that if these defensive linemen are as good as advertised, that this defense can be one of the best in the ACC, which is a crazy thing to say, considering that this team missed, I think, 291 tackles last season, which is a mind-boggling number. I think even if you and I were on defense, Gary, it would have been hard for us to miss 291 tackles, because A, we wouldn't have been fast enough to catch anybody. So it's hard to miss a tackle when you're not near a guy, but still, we probably would have missed less than that, mainly because of that. But I will say the availability yesterday was pretty funny because it was we're sort of getting into that game mode, right, where they're finally starting to sort of ramp up. Fall camp is sort of in the rearview mirror, and so they rolled out a few players for us after practice, and then there was this big gap in time. I think it was actually like an hour and a half we're waiting for Logan Sangapolo. It turns out the G's, he explained to us, have an N inflection, in his home country, and the same thing he said for he didn't mention this name because he can't, but it's not Maui Goa, it's Mauingoa is how you pronounce it, because the G's have an N sound in there apparently, unless he was messing with me, but that's what he says. I'm going with that. So anyway, so we're waiting an hour and a half. So I won't mention who, but some media people just are like, I'm going to get lunch, and they took off, And the rest of us were like, should we all just leave as a statement of anger for having to wait an hour and a half to get, one guy? And we stayed. Some of us who were real reporters, we stuck it out. Hungry as we were, we just munched on the artificial turf in the IPF and waited for him to show up. And it was the funniest thing. I don't know if there was a scene in ET like this, but I sort of picture it like that. So the SID guys had disappeared because they didn't want to deal with our wrath. And finally, they come back, and they're like saying, Logan's going to be here in a minute. And then all of a sudden, Logan's nowhere to be seen. All of a sudden, there's, I'm trying to think how to describe it. There's this giant metal door that they drive cars through, to bring onto the field. And it's closed in the IPF, right? And it just slowly starts to raise open. And you just see like feet just standing there waiting. And then you see the lower body. It's like, it feels like there's like a smoke machine pouring out, And it's like, da-na-na, you want the music to be, they should have played the music with da-na-na, da-na-na, and like it's going higher and higher, but really, really slowly, and then it just stops right at his head. and he ducks under, and there's Logan, and he comes and talks to us. And then we talked to him, we had a really nice conversation, super, super, super nice guy. And how can you not like, you watch the video, but he uses terms that I think I used when I was a kid. I can't remember what one of them was, but it's like one of those super awesome type words. And then he leaves, and we're all chattering excitedly amongst ourselves as reporters. We hear this big bang. And it turns out that Logan has walked straight into, his head has hit straight into the metal piece that had not come fully down when he first ducked to come in. I guess he was distracted, and he smashed right into it, And we're like, hey, Logan, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. And he left. And then we were all joking that, probably the metal giant hurricane shutter got more damage than Logan's head, because this guy is built like a brick wall. And so we found that this is what reporters find humorous, Gary. This is what lights up our day, is when Logan Saganpolu smashes his head into a giant metal barricade. This is hilarious.
All right. Well, we have a story on Jacob Lichtenstein. We don't have the Logan story today. We're going to have that story probably tomorrow. But today we've got the story on Jacob Lichtenstein, and he says that up to 25 players on D can be considered starters. Like, they know they are going to be in heavy rotation, that it doesn't really matter who's on the field first. If you're not on the field first, you're going to be on the field very soon thereafter. And they seem to be thriving on this defensive line rotation, Matt. And I was talking to some people inside the program who told me that the play of these defensive linemen is making the linebackers better because they are not as exposed. They're not left on an island as much, and they are playing much better than anybody imagined that they would at this point.
Yeah, well, just to clarify, when Gary says he's talking to someone inside the program, he talked to me, so I did give him some nice tidbits there. I appreciate the shout out, Gary.
Okay.
But yeah, listen, this defense, top to bottom, if you get if Caleb Johnson comes through, which it seems like people think he will, he's been playing really, really well. Apparently, Corey Flagg got shouted out by who was it? Somebody shouted out Corey as having the best camp. Oh, I think you know who it was. It was Charlie Strong. Charlie Strong shouted out Corey Flagg as having the strongest fall camp, and they put him also at will. They're just trying to find their best linebackers. But if they do have, I think they have the depth of defensive line that they need. If they get a little bit of depth at linebacker, the secondary you already know is the strength of the defense. That's why I'm saying this defense could be, with Kevin Steele running this thing, one of the shockingly good defenses in maybe the ACC and maybe even the country, because
it's amazing. But yes.
Yeah. But there's been this crazy dichotomy. It seems every year, and I talked to you about this, and we'll do a story at some point, especially if it turns out not to be true anymore, which maybe it won't be. But it seems the last 10 or 15 years, there have been moments where the defense has been amazing, right? I think 2018 defense was really, really good, if I remember correctly. But then whenever the defense isn't real good, the offense is real good, right? And they're never getting both great at the same time, which is what they used to do back in the day. And maybe, just maybe, they got a Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback. So just maybe, if this defense is as good as we think, and if Tyler Van Dyke can really get this offense, going in full stride, maybe the magic happens, The positive Matt thinks it's possible.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they look like on September the 17th. I'm not judging too much before that, but I am very excited to see what they look like. I'm very encouraged by what I'm hearing out of training camp. And today is essentially defensive line day on the website, because we got the story on Jacob Lichtenstein. We got a story on Antonio Moultrie and how he's ready also to be part of that rotation and do his part in Kevin Steele's defense. And then we also have a story with Mitchell Agude, who is going to be almost certainly one of the starters at defensive end. And so you can read those stories and get brought up to date. Hey,
can I ask you a huge favor, Gary?
Yeah.
Can you play one of those amazing Life Wallet commercials? I love watching those, and I just feel like I really would love to see one right now if that's possible.
Sure, they got a cool little back to school one. Here we go.
Wonderful.
Matt wants me to stop telling the stories from it. So let's hear from our friends at Life Wallet.
Yes, yeah, please.
Life Wallet activated. Get back to school with Life Wallet. Life Wallet. Saving time, saving lives.
I mean, Gary, did you notice the cinematography and the mise-en-scene in that commercial? I mean,
truthfully, if you wanted to talk about cinematography, there were other ones I could have played. Like, the one we played the other day where they cloned the Cavender twins, that was really cool.
I mean, that was a Martin Scorsese, right? If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that was the director on that one. It's just breathtaking. I can't even watch other commercials anymore after watching Life Wallet commercials, because it's like, what is this crap? Let's put on some Life Wallet commercials,
All right. You asked for it. Here's another one.
I'm JC Henton, and most people don't realize it, but I suffer from asthma, which is why I'm glad I have my Life Wallet to protect me out of the water and in the water. You don't have to hold your breath. Life Wallet's got you covered.
Life Wallet. Saving time, saving lives.
Get Life Wallet today.
Just amazing. I mean, the shout outs to Waterworld and Jaws 2 in that one little 30-second
There's some good cinematography in that one.
Oh, I mean, like mind blowing, Gary. Mind blowing. You know what? I'm going to start buying stock in MSP Recovery, because if they're making these kinds of commercials, can you imagine what's next? I mean, did you see those stadium renderings, Gary?
Well,
like not only can you see the football field, but you can also have a beautiful view of a palm tree with a bird in it while you're trying to watch a football game. I mean, like, it's the best of both worlds, man. These people are geniuses.
Well, let me I think this is a good moment, since you're in such a good mood, to bring up this next subject, because I think there was a lot of back and forth debate on this, but switching gears to baseball for a moment, and after a 40-win season last year.
I gotta be positive about this now? All right,
yeah.
Gotta go.
40-win season last year, in which the Canes lost in the Coral Gables Regional.
The postseason doesn't matter,
Gary. Has been awarded a 3-year contract extension.
Postseason doesn't matter. He won 40 regular season games. 40 games. He was ranked number 2 in the country. The postseason doesn't matter. Anything can happen in the postseason. It's not his fault that they lost to some horrible teams, one of which wasn't so horrible, by the way. That one that went on to win quite a little bit of hardware. So, whatever, man. I mean, I think Gino's is he a great coach? I think it's to be determined, but he's a very nice guy. So speaking to him.
So one of our subscribers on CaneSport.com, Kane and Strong, posts on the message boards, how do y'all feel about this? And he posts the story that we had about Gino, and the U says, "This sucks. No reason to extend them." Hurricane says, "Wow, I thought those days were over, but I guess his old man carries a big stick." Look, Paul Damari carried this athletic program for decades. So if he gets favorable treatment in the form of his son getting a little bit of a loose string, so to speak, Matt, do you have a problem with it?
Negative Matt would say that you really don't want a booster running your athletic program and making his son the coach until death do us part. But positive Matt is perfectly fine with it. Positive Matt sees this baseball program going to new heights, and maybe they will reach a super regional and then lose next year. That would be the next step in progression for the Gino Damari regime, which is going to be absolutely amazing. I predict 41 wins because they're just going to keep getting better and better.
Well, it was the predictable debate, obviously, on the message boards on that one. And I'm not surprised. I didn't expect them to get fired or anything. I mean, Dan Radakovich isn't coming in and disrespecting Paul Damari in his first year as athletic director by firing Gino. Like, that's just not happening. So, congratulations to Gino for getting that contract extension, and hopefully it goes better at the end of the season next year. They were doing well for a while this year, and it just kind of fell apart on them. So hopefully it goes better at the end of the year next year. All right, Matt, there's one more story that I want to talk about, and it's a really, really good one. And there was a lot of drama over the last couple of weeks with the Washington Twins. All of a sudden, it was being said that they are going to go visit Louisville. Well, we finally got to the inside story on the whole thing, and it's pretty entertaining, quite frankly. And it's on the website today. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so I spoke to, our intrepid reporter, Azubi. Charles spoke to Robbie, what was it, last weekend? Over the weekend, right?
Yeah,
so we had a story with Robbie. So I said, you know what? let's call Bobby. And I've talked to Bobby for over a year. We've been talking back and forth, and we always talk about his star ranking and how he should be a 4-star. Why is he a 3-star? To which I explained to him, I don't do the rankings, which it's funny. In the past, we've had recruits that literally don't want to talk to us because whatever network we're involved with hasn't given them as many stars as some other networks. So they make the other network their go-to, And I try to explain to everybody, we only wield so much power, right, Gary? We'd make all Miami commitments 5 stars if we could. Negative Matt would make them 4 stars, positive Matt would make them 5 stars. And as it relates to talking to Bobby, so we were talking for a while, and basically what happened was, as everyone knows, Bobby and Robbie have always been dead set on going to the same college together. They always wanted to be that. They always wanted that to be the University of Miami for obvious reasons, because it's the greatest program in the world. And when the recruiting sort of slowed down for Bobby with Miami in the last few weeks, and it didn't take the Twins long to realize that they keep calling Robbie and they're not calling Bobby. And so Bobby starts wondering what's going on. Maybe I need to start looking around because they're not showing me the same love they're showing to Robbie. And it probably doesn't help when reporters are asking Bobby, not me, but other reporters around were asking Bobby, did Miami stop recruiting you? Are you decommitting? That sort of stuff doesn't probably help anything. So Bobby and Robbie talked about it. They said, hey, let's visit Louisville, because if Miami doesn't want you, Bobby, we're going together. And Robbie's like, I'm going with you, and we'll find somewhere else. And so they set up a Louisville official visit, and Miami reacted appropriately, which was, we didn't mean to not show you so much love. They explained whatever they explained to him. I didn't ask what the explanation was. I'm sure it was middle of fall practice. We love you. He did say they told him how much they love him. They need him. Charlie Strong's been talking to him every day ever since this all went down. And Bobby has no interest in going anywhere other than the University of Miami.
You know what? He's getting better too, Matt.
Yeah, there's some people out there, I guess even some of these evaluator type, network guys, I'm not one of them, but who say that they're just taking Bobby to get Robbie, and that they don't want Bobby, which there was another site that even posted that and then deleted it because they said, oh, we were asked to delete it, but it's still true, they posted. And this is a disservice to a young man who's working really hard, who's been dying to be a Miami Hurricane forever, and he's good enough to be a Miami Hurricane. To say a high school junior isn't going to pan out is ridiculous. He is, like you said, he's getting better. He's a hard worker. He's got a great attitude. He and Robbie can be a dynamic duo, so to speak, on each side of the ball at the University of Miami. And I just don't get, there's just this weird hate that sometimes comes from within this Miami circle of reporters or fans or whatever towards guys who are dying to be Miami Hurricanes. And I don't understand it. Positive Matt does not understand it, because once they commit, man, they're part of the family. And you don't say, oh, they don't really want him, or, oh, he's not good, they just want his brother. Like, even if you believe that, you shouldn't say it publicly if you're a reporter, even if you're a fan. Like these guys, they're young men who are trying to live their dream, and you're just trampling on their dream like a negative Matt tramples on the Miami Hurricanes once in a while, and it's not right.
All right, so that's an interesting story, and make sure you guys check that one out as well. Never ceases to be drama in recruiting, and I don't know how the coaches find time to deal with it during training camp either. It's like it's hard when there's an expectation that you're going to be calling all the time, and you just you just don't have the time to call every recruit every day. So glad that one worked itself out, and the Washington Twins are firmly in the Miami camp, and we think they'll stay there as well. So that's going to do it for today.
Thank God this is over.
Our exposure to Positive Matt.
I made it. I did it.
Is coming to an end at just around the 30-minute mark of the show. Hope you've enjoyed the
30 minutes of hell, Gary Ferman. 30 minutes of hell.
Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed the new Matt Shodell today. Now we just got to try to hold on to him by getting 300 likes.
No. Listen, the experiment, as I explained earlier, I want the people who want negative Matt to come back. I want them to click like today. If I get 0 likes,
then you're going to stay
Then
positive.
you'll find a different host. Like, what the hell do I need to be here for if everyone hates me? You know, so I just want to see. Maybe there'll be 10 likes. I don't know, but we'll see. It's a social experiment for people who want to feel better about themselves by seeing somebody who's miserable. I think if it was me, I would personally give a like. I would give a like. I wouldn't have given a like yesterday, and I would give a like this morning. That's just me.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. In the meantime, don't forget to check out that James Williams blog in particular. It's really spectacular. For Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Ferman. We'll see you next time, everybody.